Today we have Mr. Nimish Kumar with us. He graduated in 2021 from computer science. He is working as a SDE at Google and then also worked as an intern with Grad. On behalf of Start Team, I'd like to welcome you, sir. Hello, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for having me here, first of all. Looking forward to interact with all of you. As you know that I am Nimish, and currently, I'm working as a software engineer at Google. I graduated from UIET this year only, 2021. Haven't yet officially graduated, but yeah, uh, I'm a 21 CSC 21 batch student at UIET, and apart from this, I have interned at three startups like Cred 100 MS, which is like a very early stage startup founded by ex Hotstar and Facebook co-founders, and also Aduway Foundation, which is a startup in Chandigarh itself. And apart from this, I also interned at Optum, which is like a healthcare company. I also like to do competitive programming. Like mostly in my fourth year, I did participated in contests on CodeChef and CodeForces, and due to that, I also have like good rankings on CodeChef. I am a 5-star coder, and on CodeForces, I am like max achieved expert rating. So this slide, I'm gonna talk about how I started at UIT and how my first year was like at UIT. So as you all can see in the image here that the baby is scrolling. So like it was mostly similar to that when I started, it was full of learnings because though I come from a CS background in school, like I had studied computer science in my plus two, but that was more of a basic knowledge I had about C, C++, and like I was not very logically sound to the fundamentals like how pointers work. I was not very sound in the fundamentals, and also like even I did not had any PC or laptop at my home. So just I knew how to open a Turbo C++ editor and write some basic code in that. So even like operating Windows was a kind of a big thing for me, to be honest, at that time in my first semester, because I have not very kind of a geeky guy in school, right? So I also went to PyCon conference in my first semester itself with one of our seniors, and the complete like those who don't know, PyCon is a Python kind of open source talk where they talk about what are they doing in the Python space, basically in the open source community. And the talks were kind of very high level for me at that point of time, and like they went over my head. Uh, like I did not understand much, but it was fun going there and listening to the talks. So that's how I started in my first semester. As you might be knowing, like which are second and third year people, that we have data structures and algorithms in second year, right? So I was focusing on data structures mostly on the college, like in the college itself. In the lab, I used to solve like basic. The Kazip sir used to give us some basic questions to solve, right? Like if we are doing trees, then he will give us like how to traverse a tree using DFS, BFS, how to count nodes on like alternate levels, and these kind of basic questions around data structures. I used to do them in the lab itself, so that they don't get like kind of burdened on me after I go from college to PG, right? And so like I was not doing much of any competitive programming or lead code till my second year. I was mostly either doing basic questions from GFG, or doing questions which sir used to give us in the labs, right? And I used to study that in the first and second year I used to study the Balaguru Swami book from of C++, and in the first time I studied Let Us See book of C. So if anyone is looking for recommendations, like I would say, don't go for any fancy things. You can you can get a lot of information from basic information and get your fundamentals cleared by studying books also. And apart from that, when I was doing ML, I felt that that kind of hype ML has is very much like in UIT also. I still hear that the hype of data analytics and machine learning is very much, but like it is of no use if we don't get to either either it helps us get a very good job, or second, if we get to make something very good out of it. But I figured out that if we only know ML, we cannot build end-to-end projects. If we don't know Android, if we don't know web, yeah, so we cannot build projects which we can showcase in our resume mostly. So I started exploring other fields like, as I said, Android and web also. I did the Harvard CS50 intro to web using Python and Django. So I did made some basic projects in Django and Flask. What I did was I tried to combine machine learning and web development so that I can deploy my web model using a front end in HTML, CSS, and using Django or Flask as backend. So no, yeah, I try to do that so that I make a end-to-end project which I can showcase in resume. So this is a very good point that if anyone who is more into data analytics and ML, it's a good field, but also try to explore different fields like web or Android and see if that interests you. Like in first and second year, try to explore different thing as much as possible. Don't restrict yourself to only ML or only web or only even data structures and algorithms. Till third sem, at least try to till third or fourth sem, try to make sure you get your hands dirty in different fields, and you have like one or two projects to showcase in resume till the end of second year, I would say, so that it will help you get internships afterwards. Because uh, to get an experience, you can only showcase like to get the first internship, you can only showcase projects, right? You don't have any official experience, you don't have internship experiences. So projects are a great way to show that you can build something end to end. And it will be good if you make some team projects also. Like you can talk with one or two of your friends and try to make projects in teamwork. So that will also teach you how we can effectively make projects using GitHub, like how to use VCS, how you can do pull requests, how you can effectively contribute code to the same project, how multiple people can contribute to the same code base. So that will help you even further explore the world of open source if anyone of you want to. Like that's also a good path to explore. Apart from that, I participated in Smart India Hackathon also. Like we went to the finals in Pune. So though we did not win the Smart India Hackathon, but it was a great learning experience. So we explored a lot, and we knew we learned how we can build a project, how we can present that project effectively. So I will recommend that you should participate in at least one hackathon in your second year, right? Because after second year you will not get much time. Like in sixth semester, fifth semester, your priorities would be only to prepare for placements, and you will forget like to build projects, to go to hackathons. So like second year is the most important time when you can explore different fields. You can go to hackathons, you can build some stuff, you can network with people, right? And side by side you can continue doing data structures also, because you know uh, those will help you basically in interviews when you go and sit for on campus or off campus interviews of some mid level or big tech companies. So third year is mostly so my third year was mostly related to data structures and algorithms. As you can see in the sticker, that was the focus year for me, because I think that was the year which turned around things for me. Like first and second year, I was only hoping to get into some decent companies like Deloitte or some like mid-level companies which we have. Like I was not very targeting Google or Amazon, at least in my first or like third semester till my third semester. But after my fourth semester, I saw that Amazon is also coming. Like in third year, I saw that Amazon is also coming this year, so it might also come next year in our college. So I started to prepare a bit hard from that point. So I was started to focus more on interview preparation, on data structures, on the things which are asked in interviews, right? And initially in the fourth, in our fifth semester, we were told that 2 or 3 companies might visit for internships, the summer internships after the third year. So the first company to visit was Optum Global Solutions, and I prepared for that. Like we had very less time, but I brushed up my basic CS fundamental skills, DBMS, OS, and data structures and algorithms, and I went ahead with the interview. And the interview went quite well, and I was the only one who was selected from UIT at Optum. Apart from that, like I was very happy that I have an internship offer in hand, and I don't have to like worry much then. But after that, Goldman Sachs came into the campus, right? And I wasn't very prepared because I was also in the hang of kind of getting an offer from Optum, and I did not prepare much for Goldman Sachs. And what happened was in the like I cleared the online coding round, but in the first interview itself, they asked me a very simple linked list question, like how should we find the intersection point of two linked lists. Like if anyone of you is doing a bit of data structures, they will know that this is a very straightforward question which we get in interviews. Like this is a very standard question, and but I had not done this question before ever in my life. So I tried to do that at the moment, but I failed. I did not get to the O of one space solution, basically the constant space solution at the time of interview. I had prepared dynamic programming a bit, but like I was thinking that Goldman Sachs is a very like reputed bank, and they will only ask high level advanced questions. But what I missed was the basic linked list questions. And trust me, if you don't do linked list, like linked list can screw your interview, as Rachit Jain also said, and that happened with me also. So that basic linked list question got me rejected on the first interview of Goldman Sachs. Apart from that, after getting rejected from Goldman Sachs, that was a kind of a hit back on me, and I tried to cover that by uh, preparing very hard. I did doing like I think I did around 100 plus questions in 1 month in 1 month after the Goldman Sachs interview, because I knew that there would be some off-campus opportunities coming up next. Like we had that Microsoft one test, I think, which is for the summer internship. So that was also coming. So I prepared for that. I did 100 plus lead code questions to prepare for Microsoft. I cleared the online round again off campus, and it was my first virtual round at Microsoft, virtual video interview round at Microsoft, and I got one easy question and one medium level type question. Though I was able to solve both the questions, but the thing was I wasn't very confident, and I was not able to you know make the interviewer convinced that this is the most optimal solution and this will work for every edge case. So the interviewers was like, I don't think this will work for some of the edge cases, but so I was not able to very much convince him that yeah, this solution will work. So as every failure comes with learnings, so I learned from the Microsoft experience that it is not only about coding. Like you can solve all the questions in interviews and still not get through the interview, because like they also look at other things. They look at how you are explaining things. They look at how fast you are solving the questions, how you are managing time, how well you are able to communicate your thought process, how well you are able to convince the interviewer that this solution will work in every possible edge case, right? So all these things matter, and because of these things only, I got the rejection from Microsoft as well. So yeah, yeah. So about the projects, yeah, I think it's not compulsory to build projects, but it's good to have at least 2 projects in your resume, because even in the interview, though the Amazon and any big companies interviews focus mostly on data structures or on the CS fundamentals like DBMS and operating systems, but it's good to have at least 1 or 2 good projects in your resume. Like one is, I would say, must to have in your resume. Okay. I would say like you are doing good if you are practicing on HackerRank. HackerRank is also good to start. The HackerRank easy and the medium problems are good to do in the second sem. you can like don't take it very hard on yourself on first year and second year. As I said, explore different fields in first and second year. You can try your hands on web development also. Like after ML, like do one thing, build one project in ML, then try to build one project in web development, and see what you like more, and try to explore different fields that will open up you up for more opportunities at startups. What happened initially was like I was having a PPO from Optum self. So on campus, I was not eligible for the less than 10 lakhs lab, right? So I was only eligible to for one offer, and that too uh, of a company having more than 10 lakhs compensation, right? So initially, I waited for Amazon mostly. I was like I previously said, I was targeting Amazon, so I was only preparing hard for Amazon, and I waited uh, very much a long time to I ignored some of the companies for Amazon. Like I did not participated well in the Zscaler round and got rejected because I was only targeting Amazon. So even and what happened was when Amazon came, uh, I completed the test. Like I did both the coding questions, the complete test, but I was not shortlisted for interviews. So yeah, and that was a very low point for me. And uh, when the rejection of Amazon came, just before one day before that, I gave my first telephonic round of Google. So I thought that now only the Google opportunity is the only opportunity I have in my hand apart from Optum. So I did not have any other because the on-campus season was about to end. Like Amazon came quite late, and I thought that, and I was not like very confident about Google too, because as we all know that Google is famous for asking some bit of hard questions, and it is not easy to get through. But I thought that now our only opportunity like I have in front of me is Google, so I prepared really hard for Google. Like I I first of all revised all the questions I have done till now on lead code, revised all the algorithms, all the patterns in mind, did some more questions specific to Google from lead code, from interview bit, and also did some mid-level questions from code chef so that I do not miss on graphs and trees and some bit of advanced topics as Google might ask them, right? And also one thing which we were constantly doing in fourth year was like with 3 4 friends, Gurpreet, Harsh, and me were doing mock interviews constantly. Like we mostly used to do one interview daily, right, for around 1 month. So that helped us how we can explain our thought process well, because mock interviews are a great way to simulate the process of interview, right? And when you solve question in isolation, that is very different when you solve question in an interview and you also explain the thought process to interviewer. So I would say mock interviews helped me a lot in building that confidence to explain my thought process and to being calm at the interview. So yeah, what to do? I think you need to ask yourself these 3 questions. The first is, do you want to go into startups or do you want to target some FANG type companies, right? The Google, Amazon type companies. So startups, what is the case is like I have given a lot of interviews at startups also at like big techs also. What I analyzed is startups focus on a mix of the two. Like mostly they focus on your dev profile, and they might also ask some easy medium level data structures questions. But big techs mostly focus on your like it's the other way around for big techs. They mostly focus on data structures and less on the development part. So you need to ask yourself like what are you most interested in? Like most of the people I think here would be interested in the FANG type companies, but there might be some who are only targeting startups. So they can focus more on data development part. But I think it's good to do both, but you can see like what you want to do more, like what excites you more. And that is the second point, that what your interests are. Like some might get a kick when they solve a CP problem on like lead code, they get accepted mark on code forces, they get a good rank in a contest. But some might be more interested in building end-to-end projects, right? they get more satisfaction by building more end-to-end projects. Both are good, I would say. And the third point is, why not keep a balance, right? And I would highly recommend that you should keep a balance between data structures and development, because you should not limit your opportunities. If you only do the development, then you are limiting yourself only to startups. And if you are only doing data structures, you are limiting yourself only to Amazon or Google. And you should keep a balance of both, so that you can apply to any company, and that the chances of getting interview is very likely high if you have a good balanced profile. So yeah, now we know that this is the way to go. Like, we have to do data structures and development both, but how should we do that, right? And to do that, I would recommend that you should divide your time. Like, there are two options. Either you can say, like, in a day I would devote 2 hours to development, and I would devote 2 hours to data structures, right? I will do 2 hours lead code. This is the first option we have. And second option is, you can altogether divide days and even weeks, or even months. Like, you can say, like, for this month I'm only doing development. I'm building this project end to end, like a good project. I will deploy this and I will put that in resume. So make sure that you keep a timeline of yourself, that you have 1 month and you have to complete this project in around 1 month time. After that, you can switch over to data structures for 1 to 2 months. Then you can say that, like, the interviews are coming near, then you can focus more on the data structures part for 2 to 3 months, right? And when interviews are coming, like I said, that it is good to focus only on data structures, and you can utilize your free time, which is like the third semester. We don't like, the interviews are very far, because we get internship interviews in fifth sem, right? Also in fourth sem, the interviews are not very close, so you can utilize this time to build some projects. You can, like, try to make at least 2 projects till your fourth or fifth sem, right? So I think, yeah, this is the way to go in data structures versus development. So yeah, like, this is I would say, the most important slide you should focus on. Like, even if you get one thing from this workshop is, like, please focus on this slide. Like, because if you are focusing on Google or Amazon and these kind of companies, then data structures are the most important things they focus on, and you should prepare for them, like, in a very planned way. Like, you should not go about solving what people do is, some people try to solve 1,000 questions on lead code, and they don't have a strategy in mind. And when they go to interview, they are not able to solve some new problems that they face. And they try to memorize the problems when they try to solve lead code, but when the new problem comes in the interview, because sometimes they tweak around some problems, like, they add a bit more one more constraint, or they might change the language a bit. They might add a new uh, trick in the question, right? You should focus on the quality, I would say. Like, as you can see on the left side, this is the screenshot of my lead code profile. I have solved 347 problems till date, right? This is the problems I solved, you would say, in 1.5 years, right? Initially, I only solved, like, in 1 to 2 months, I only solved 100 problems, as I said, for the internship interviews. But after that, when I, keep doing that in sixth sem also, fifth sem also, this is the cumulative result of 1.5 year which I solved. So I think 300 problems are more than enough, like 250, 300 are more than enough to crack any good company. But if you do them effectively, and how to do them effectively, uh, like, do one thing, keep aside a time. Like, as I said, you can see in the third point, you should target that for the easy problems you are devoting 10 to 15 minutes. For the medium problem, you are devoting 20 to 25 minutes at max, and for the hard, it is 40 to 45 minutes. So there is an extension for lead code timer. You can install the timer extension, and you can, whenever you start a problem, especially when you are near the interviews, like, you are in fifth or sixth sem and you have interviews coming up, so you should keep practicing lead code by starting a timer. So what was the assessment criteria of Google? And this is, like, mostly the same for Amazon or any other fan companies. So, like, people only focus on the coding part. As I said, I was rejected in Microsoft even after coding both the interview questions. So this is the coding is not the only thing you should focus on. You should also focus on how you explain your thought process well. Like the communication should be very crystal clear between you and the interviewer, and also how you drive the interview. So independent attitude means you should drive the interview towards your strength. You should not depend on the interviewer that he or she will tell you that you have less time and you should manage time. The Google recruiter shared these 5 points with me that you should focus on these points. And yeah, like the time management is also very important, because in an interview, like in Google interview, you only have 40 minutes and you have to solve two medium problems. So it's 20 minutes per one medium problem, and it's your duty to remind yourself that we have less time and how should you go about solving both the two problems. So one should focus on the complete interviewing package rather than only focusing on the coding part. And you can get all these skills by participating in the mock interviews with your friends. So mock interviews are a great way to practice all of these points. So like we know that companies visit on campus, but we should not ourselves keep limited only to the on-campus opportunities. We should also apply to off-campus. Like I applied a lot off-campus. I would say, like I used to apply average on an average 5 to 6 at least companies daily when I was looking out for internships or full-time opportunities. So what are the steps to apply off campus? First of all, like build a good resume. Like we will see in the next slide how we can build a good resume. And second is reach out to people. Like be active on LinkedIn. If you like first and second year people, if you do not does not have a LinkedIn account, make sure you sign up on LinkedIn and make a decent enough profile. You put your projects there. You put an internships you have done, and reach out to some people. Right, like just send random requests to people from different companies. Try to first spam your college seniors like me, and then reach out to the random people and make sure to have a note in the invitation, right? Because that makes your application stands out. And if you like send the request to 10 people, at least 5 or 6 of them will accept your request. And if you are like looking out for opportunities, if you are in fifth sem, or if you are in like sixth sem, seventh sem, and you are looking out for referrals, make sure you mention that in the note itself that you are looking for referrals, and mention your resume in the, like make a short URL of bit.ly of your resume and put that in the note itself and say that I'm good at data structures, I'm good at development, and please if you can refer me to this opportunity. And yeah, if you send a request to 10 to 15 people, at least one or two of them would definitely reply to you. And the third is apply a lot. As I said, that I used to apply a lot, and you should also apply a lot. The next slide. So we know that how to apply off campus, but the first thing is building a good resume, right? So how should we build an eye-catching resume, which like recruiter only sees our resume for around 8 to 10 seconds at max. So how should we build a resume that grasps their attention? First thing is, as I said, you should at least have 2 projects in your resume with the live link of the project. So make sure you have like one project deployed on Heroku, right? If you are doing web development. Secondly, make sure that you have also the GitHub link in the like in front of the project, so that it is not that you are only saying, you are also like attaching a credibility to the product that you have built it yourself, and this is the live link and this is the coding link. Second thing is the achievement section of your resume is very important. Like I see the resumes of some students and they don't have achievement section. Like they only have project section or some bit of experience section. But I see is that whenever someone looks at your resume and they see the achievement section, quickly the attention goes to the achievement section, and they, like if you participate in some lead code contest, if you participate in any of the like code forces contest, then put some ranks like headings that I got this much rank. Like no one really reads them very carefully, but you should at least have 2 to 3 ranks to show if you are applying to very good like Google or Amazon kind of companies. And other than that, you can also mention your hackathon wins, like Smart India Hackathon, the hackathons which are widely known and famous, you can put the participation and the winning prize, the winning if you have any awards in the achievement section. The last thing is build your resume very crisp and very short. You can use latex formats which are like I prefer latex and I will recommend to use latex formats which are available on the Overleaf website. You can check out that. You can Google Overleaf resumes and there you will get a lot of templates and you can pick anyone to build your resume. So this is I think pretty much it to build a good resume which can get you an interview at any good company.